I've confronted hundreds of men over 2 decades. Men online looking for children to sexually assault.
Well, Cody, I'm Chris Hansen.
I know who you are.
I tried to get into their heads and understand why.
But you have it on your phone.
That's true.
And ultimately make sure they face justice.
Can I just give you some money and leave?
I don't want money. I want the truth.
These are the predators I've caught. I'm Chris Hansen. Every once in a while, somebody will ask me, why are you still doing the Predator Stings 21 years into these investigations? I still get that question occasionally. And I have a few answers. Obviously, I believe it's important. It's very compelling television. It creates a dialogue and an awareness that is very necessary in our digital world. But this episode will tell you exactly why we do these investigations. Because we catch people like Sam Zoellner. Sam, you may remember, was featured in one of my Takedown episodes, an investigation conducted with the Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd and his team. This particular investigation back in February of 2023. Now, Sam, and we'll get into the chats in just a moment here, was very graphic. He knew exactly what he wanted to do to a 15-year-old girl. Made it very clear. But Sam had an additional level to his story. And that's because Sam fought the police. You've heard the song, I Fought the Law and the Law Won. Well, the law won here for sure. You're not getting away from Grady Judd's deputies and detectives. It's not going to happen. Sam thought he could get away, and the reason why he wanted to get away was this wasn't Sam's first trip down the Predator road. We'll get into his background shortly in this episode. But he had, as it turns out, been arrested as a young man in Michigan for a sexual encounter with an underage girl. Now, he would try to dress this up later as a high school romance gone wrong. But when he was prosecuted in Michigan for that case, he says he was 18 and the girl was 15. He was put on probation, but he violated that probation. And he ended up doing 18 months in the state prison in Jackson, Michigan. Now, when I was a reporter in Michigan, they called Jackson Jacktown. It was 6,000 inmates, the largest walled prison in the United States of America. Now, they've changed the setup there, and it's not as arcane as it once was. It's still a tough place to do time, especially when your fellow inmates know you're in there for being accused, being convicted of having sex with somebody who's underage. And Sam admits this to me in a very alarming interview, which you'll hear shortly. Now, you would think that after 18 months in what we used to call Jacktown, Sam would learn his lesson. He wouldn't even try to talk to a girl who was underage. But no, not Sam. Sam moves down to Florida, the St. Petersburg area in Pinellas County, and he decides one night that he's tired. He's working as an online supplement salesperson, and that he needs a break, that he needs a diversion. So he gets online, and what does he do? He starts to chat up a girl who tells him she's 15 years old. Not just any old chat either. He makes it very clear what he wants to do to this girl. And he admits along the way that he knows it's wrong, it's illegal. Now, Sam goes online by the name of Jack Loud. And oh, This episode's going to get loud. Stand by. How old? You can go to beach? He asks. 15, almost 16, she responds. Okay, so you can go to the beach. Well, no car, and my mom is hanging with her friends this week. Now he's going to pretend like he just wants to go to the beach and hang out. Oh, that sucks, he says. You're looking for friends? I would hang out with you, but I'm older. Sends a laughing emoji. What do you look like? He wants to know. She sends a picture. He likes the picture. What's the oldest guy you dated? What's your name? I'm Sam. I'm so bored. Probably scared you away. Sweating emoji. You are so adorable. Heart eyes emoji. What are you doing? I talked to a guy that was 19 for a while. Nice, that's a decent age gap. What's the oldest you would go? Some women think older is hot, so I have to ask. I don't care if you're cool, says the decoy. Obviously, the decoy is a detective with the Polk County Sheriff's Office. You aren't going to kidnap me, are you? Then, referring to the fact that her mother is away, we would have to get you home before she got home, huh? I'm nervous because of your mom. Crying, laughing emoji. I'm a stud. I don't need to kidnap. I mentioned watching movies and cuddles because you are cute, he says. Hey, you probably get a bunch of attention. I would hold you and maybe kisses if I can. You are sweet, says the decoy. Well, I can't help it if you're beautiful. You ever go swimming? I would take you. Love to see you in a bikini, LOL. Sorry, I just think you're hot. She said she's had a boring day. What would you rather do? Are you a virgin? Wow, that's out of left field. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm dumb. Why are you dumb? I'm 15, almost 16, but yes, I'm a virgin. I have never gone all the way. My mom would kill me if I got preggo. There's condoms. I have sex and don't get people pregnant, LMAO. And then he gets very graphic. Well, I would eat you out first, then slowly finger you until you were used to it, LOL. It hurts, I've been told, for a second. Do you have a nice body? I guess so, she says. Man, it sucks you're so young. What's your booty like? He asks. I need a picture of you to get me hard, he says, LOL. Then she says, well, if you came over, what would you want to do? I want to hold you, kiss you, and softly play with your breast, suck them, lick your pussy until you come and moan. Can you send me a video of yourself saying, hey, this is Sarah, just so I feel comfortable that you're real, just so you feel comfortable that you're going over and sexually assault a 15-year-old child? That's what you mean. Sorry, I'm just nervous meeting people. Well, yeah, if I did 18 months in Jackson prison, I'd be nervous too. I'm really just careful on my phone. Well, that's because he's a registered sex offender, as it turns out, in Michigan, which means, you know, anytime a probation parole officer wants to check his phone, he has to surrender it. Otherwise, he's in violation. And here he is, just to be very clear. He's on thin ice as it is, a registered sex offender in Michigan. And, you know, he's got a register in Florida as well. And he's out doing this?
More about this predator I've caught in a moment.
Hey, Chris Hansen here, and let me tell you about a game changer I stumbled across while hunting for a new home office desk. I found this sleek mid-century modern piece online, perfect for recording the podcast, but the $2,500 price tag, well, it was a little hefty. I'm all about getting the real deal without overpaying, so when a friend mentioned dupe.com, I was intrigued. Typed in dupe.com / before the desk's URL, and boom! Found a nearly identical desk from the same factory for $700, saving nearly 70%. The quality? Oh, sturdy, polished, exactly what I needed. No flimsy knockoffs here. Dupe.com's a lifesaver, showing you high-quality alternatives for furniture, fashion, even jewelry without the brand name markup. I'm already eyeing a sharp leather jacket for way less than what I'd seen it for in the department stores. For you pros out there, designers, realtors, Dupe's trade program offers direct manufacturer prices plus a 10% commission. It's free, addictive, and blowing up on TikTok for a reason. Dupe.com really is so easy to use. Just type dupe.com / before any product URL in your browser, and boom, it instantly finds you less expensive alternatives. They even have an app and a browser extension you can download. No account required, no sign-up required. It's absolutely free to use, so stop wasting money on brand names and start saving with Dupe.com today. I kind of want to get you horny and train you to be good at sex, LOL. I can't get preggo, she says again. I have condoms, LMAO. Maybe I'll just eat you out and suck your breast and teach you to suck cock. Remember, this is a registered sex offender. Then he asks, have you heard of BDSM? You know what that is. It's like 50 Shades of Grey. I'm a dominant in bed. She says, I can't get the video to send. Can I email it to you so it might be safer anyway? I never saw 50 Shades of Grey. Sorry, my phone is acting stupid. I can teach you about BDSM. Do you like to be in charge or the man? He says. Is it bad I want to fuck you all day until you say I own you? Yeah, it's bad. This goes on for a while longer. And eventually, Sam gets in his vehicle, drives from St. Petersburg to Polk County. And the scenario is that she's staying in a trailer park mobile home area, and the mom is gone for the evening. So Sam thinks he's going to get right over there and get busy with the young girl, 15 years old.
Oh, shit. Oops.
What's wrong?
I just almost missed it.
Before he arrives, Sam gets on a phone call with the decoy, counts down to his arrival.
Are you close?
23 minutes.
Okay.
23 minutes away. And then when he gets into the neighborhood, she flags him using her cell phone, the light on it, so he knows where to go. He's ready, all right. But guess what? When Sam shows up, the Polk County Sheriff's Office and I are waiting.
He's coming back around. He's coming back.
There's our guy, Chris. Sam.
Sam arrives just as the decoy ducks back inside.
Going down.
Task force surrounds his vehicle.
Get on the ground! Give me your hand! Stop dirty!
Now, as I mentioned earlier, Sam tries to make a run for it, resists arrest. They get him under control. And what does he do? He tries to run again.
Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Put your arm on your back! Give me another handcuff.
While sheriff's deputies lead him to a waiting vehicle, Sam again does something outrageous.
Hey! Hey! Stop resisting! What's going on? Try to run! Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Quit messing around, all right? I'm not moving. Just try to run!
Now, who thinks once in cuffs they're going to get away from the Polk County Sheriff's Office? Sam does. A desperate man. Desperate because he knows what he's facing, getting caught again. Sam is taken to the mobile interrogation unit where he talks to detectives. He's given his rights. And then I get a chance to talk to him as well. Well, Sam's got some blood, as you'll see on his face, because he tried to get away and they had to tackle him. Later, the press people with the sheriff's office would suggest to the takedown team that they clean up the alleged predators a little more than Sam was cleaned up before the interview. But the reality is that he struggled, he ran, he tried to get away. They were not overly aggressive. I was there, I watched the whole thing. They did what they had to do to secure a dangerous predator. And if he got scuffed up, it's his own fault.
So what happened tonight? You don't want to talk? Sam, you were chatting with somebody online who said they were 15 years old. Just help me to understand how you got into this situation. Sam, just help somebody else not to get into this, okay? You from Michigan? Sure, take your time.
At first, a lot of what happens. You can even see in the chat. No, McDonald's, probably.
So at first you thought about having sex with a 15-year-old girl. And then what made you change your mind, Sam? You don't want to be that person.
I guess it's still.
Now, you had some trouble up in Michigan.
That's what made me reconsider.
It made you reconsider. And what happened up in Michigan?
I mean, you already know. So I'm not.
Well, put it into context for me, would you?
It's a senior in high school. I was dating. And
He says he was a senior in high school. He was dating a freshman. They had sex. And when they broke up, all hell broke loose. He was prosecuted.
So it was a situation where you were a senior in high school dating a freshman. And did somebody have an issue with that? Her parents or family? Or?
Well, after we broke up, she went, her friends convinced her to go to the police and tell, which I understand.
Right. And that was in Saginaw, Michigan, Saginaw County? Is that where you're from?
Ironically, this crime took place in Saginaw County, Michigan, which is just 1 or 2 counties over from Genesee County, Michigan, where we work with the Ghost team and Sheriff Chris Hansen. In fact, when I first saw the car Sam was driving, I saw the sticker for a dealership that was in Genesee, and I thought maybe this guy had been caught there. But that wasn't the case. It was Saginaw County.
And how much trouble did you get in up there, Sam?
3 years probation. I messed that up 2 years in, and then I had to 18 months.
18 months in prison. Which prison did you go to, Sam?
Jackson.
Jackson. It's a tough prison. How did that go in prison for you?
Not too.
Sam told me that after he violated parole and was sent off to Jackson, to the prison there, it didn't go very well. He said it was typical. He says he wasn't physically abused, but he was harassed because he was in prison for sex with a minor.
In what way?
Typical. In my case, people know that you're a bad person, so they want to take their anger, they're mad at you for what you did.
Did they attack you in prison? Just harass you?
Yeah. Oh, you guys sue him?
I asked Sam why, after all that, after 18 months in state prison in Michigan, why he would risk it all, risk his freedom, risk harming a child again, and come to meet a 15-year-old girl after a sexually charged conversation online. And he, like so many other predators, blamed it on loneliness.
And when you got out of prison in Michigan, did you promise yourself you would never do this again?
I was doing really good, and then I just, through loneliness, just started talking to people online.
Which you wouldn't recommend. And what brought you down to Florida from Michigan, Samuel?
Business.
Business? And what business are you in? Well, I'm going to find out. So just put it into context for me.
I sell stuff online.
You sell stuff online? What kind of stuff do you sell online?
Supplements.
Sam tries to get dodgy with me about exactly what business he is in. I explained to him that I'm going to find out anyway, and he tells me he sells supplements online. He was also selling himself online to a 15-year-old girl.
If what you've heard shocks you so far, join us back in a moment.
And then Sam has a question for me, one of the most oddly worded questions a predator has ever asked. What is it you do for a living? Listen closely. The audio wasn't great this particular evening in the interrogation unit.
I asked you, like, about yourself.
Sure, you can ask me.
What do you do?
What do I do for work? I'm Chris Hansen. And I do stories on,
Yes,
on men who try to meet children online for sex, the predator stories. And so that's what we're doing here. So you're in one of those stories.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
Okay, now Sam is tracking. He recognizes me. He's figured out what's going on. But then he has a whole line of questions about how we can put this on television, whether or not he's got to sign some sort of consent form. And I tell him, like I tell all the other predators, that we don't need a consent form. This isn't a game show. This is an investigation. We're journalists. And he gave up his reasonable expectation for privacy when he traveled to meet a child for sex. That's committing a crime. But I still want to get inside Sam's mind because I think it would be helpful to hear from someone who has been punished, who's been to court-ordered therapy, but who reoffends in spite of it all.
So part of what I try to do in these stories is to understand what goes on in somebody's head to put them in this situation. And by doing that, you can send a cautionary message to other men, right? And maybe help parents educate their children to not fall into this trap. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I need you to help me do my job here if you can.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, it's hard not to only think about yourself. It's hard not to be selfish.
Sam says the root of his problem is being selfish, thinking about only himself, not about the dangers he would present, the damage he could cause to a 15-year-old girl.
I mean, this is for the better good.
Mm-hmm.
There's like no consent form or any of that, really.
No,
Oh,
because it's the commission of a felony.
oh, okay.
Right.
I was always
It's
curious.
not a game show,
Yeah.
right?
I
You understand that?
Yes, I understand. Sir.
Yeah. And you understand why I'm so interested in
Yeah.
talking to you about this, right?
Yeah. No, it's for public interest. No, I understand.
So you get the importance of it, right?
Yes, sir.
And because you get the importance of it, I guess I'll have just one more question for you, which is, what do you tell guys who might be thinking about doing the same thing you did tonight?
I mean, they can try to get help in therapy. That's the only thing I could think of.
Try to get help in therapy, he says. That's his advice to other potential predators.
Just
Do you-
get help in therapy.
Do you think the therapy works?
That's right. Sam doesn't think the therapy works. Now, take it for what it's worth. We're talking about a guy who obviously has an issue, a problem, criminal intent.
Just
Do you-
get help in therapy.
Do you think the therapy works?
probably needs to be locked up for a long time to protect society, our children. But he says therapy doesn't work.
Is there anything that could prevent you from doing this again?
Just more self-control.
More self-control.
What would prevent him, in his mind, from doing this again? Self-control, he says. Well, I think we know he doesn't have that.
But what is there to prevent you from doing 5 years in prison and coming out and doing the same thing all over again? You see what I'm saying?
Self-control, more want to succeed in life instead of just mindless sex with somebody who you shouldn't be having sex with.
That's right, Sam. Don't go out and have mindless sex with somebody with whom you should not be having sex. Pretty basic.
And you think you can do that after this next prison term?
I mean, I have to keep doing this.
I have to, because I can't keep doing this, he says.
How many times have you had sex with underage girls?
Just the one that I was in trouble with.
And he claims, as hard as this might be to believe, that the only other time he's had sex with someone who was underage was that initial situation in Michigan for which he did prison time.
And do you think you were fairly treated in that case?
Well, I did have a lawyer, which helps a lot, but I also, I affected her life a lot. You know, it was just what I deserved at the time, you know?
And he admits his punishment in that case is what he deserved at the time. The question then became, what does he deserve now after being caught again in Polk County, Florida, attempting to meet a child for sex? After his arrest, after he appeared in court, about 6 months later, Sam Zoellner pleaded guilty to charges associated with his arrest in Polk County and received 10 years in Florida prison. His release date is September of 2032, with time served. When he gets out, he will be on probation again, and he will be a registered sex offender again. Maybe this time, he'll learn his lesson. We wondered if there was anything else we could find out about Sam Zoellner. And that's one of the reasons we have partnered with truthfinder.com. Truthfinder.com allows you to find the backgrounds of people with whom you deal on a daily basis. It allows you to find out all kinds of information, whether the person's a registered sex offender, whether there have been criminal charges, civil charges. And so we took a look at Sam Zoellner. And in fact, besides a few traffic situations, we did see that he was a registered sex offender in Michigan, where he had lived prior to moving to Florida. This information can be found, and I use TruthFinder all the time. I used it just last week. We were in northern Michigan on a sting. 7 men arrested in 3 days. And in some of those cases where we could identify the man coming to meet a child, I was able to get some background, find out if there's a criminal history. Now, obviously, law enforcement has its methods too, but TruthFinder is a vital tool for me, and it can be for you. To find out how TruthFinder can work for you, go to truthfinder.com/predators to learn more and continue to follow our TruthFinder Predator update here on this podcast.
More of our story in a moment.
As always, I like to hear from you, and this week's question comes from Jacob in Colorado.
Hello, Chris. My name is Jacob. I'm 29 years old, and I'm from Colorado. I tremendously appreciate the hard work that you and your crew have put in for years. The world is a better place as a result, and that deserves appreciation, and for that, I thank you. I do have a question for you. With the modern development of OnlyFans and similar platforms, I was curious what your take on minors potentially accessing this platform, whether willfully or not, and how one could even fight against injustice such as that. I would love to hear your thoughts. And thank you for listening and for everything that you do. You are an inspiration and a beacon of light, Chris. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Jacob, for those kind words. You know, it's interesting you bring up OnlyFans and some of these other porn-ish sites, I guess you could call them. I think OnlyFans for adults, there's nothing wrong with. But I do think it provides an opportunity for children to find their way on it, both as performers and as consumers of what is potentially pornography. I know OnlyFans has a lot of safeguards in place to make sure that children don't have access. But I think there's a larger question here, Jacob, and that is, there is no doubt a link between viewing pornography and committing sex crimes, right? Not everybody who views pornography will commit a sex crime or be a predator. I understand that. Perhaps the vast majority will view pornography and go on to the next thing on their list and not harm anybody. I get that. And what adults do is adults' business. But I think there's a trend going on right now on all social media platforms, whether it's Roblox, where we have a big investigation going on, or some of the more common day-to-day platforms like Instagram or Facebook or X. There's a sexualization of children. And I think sometimes people have access to these porn sites and there's fantasy porn that is being viewed. You see, daddy-daughter things that are, just not normal. I think they then become acceptable to people who may then go and offend. So I think it's a very slippery slope. I also worry about, parents who showcase their young girls and modeling and fashion. You have to be very careful with that because, predators are out there. And especially, when it comes to Roblox that's designed and marketed toward young children, predators know that. And we have examples of this in our investigation, in our documentary that we're working on. A guy all the way over in England can approach a 10-year-old girl in Florida and try to coerce her with Robux, the currency, to take sexualized pictures of herself and to encourage her to do things she shouldn't be doing. And all that is part of our investigation. So yes, I think there's a link. I think there is concern. Obviously, adults are free to do what adults want to do as long as it's not harming anybody or breaking any laws, but it worries me greatly. Thank you, Jacob, for your kind words and your great question. You can find me all over social media. X at Chris Hansen, official Chris Hansen on Instagram, Have a Seat with Chris Hansen on TikTok. My YouTube channel, Have a Seat with Chris Hansen, is also a place where you can watch the video version of this podcast and Have a Seat with Chris Hansen, the other podcast. And of course, you can see me anytime on True Blue, my streaming crime network. Every Thursday, a new Takedown Predator investigation drops. I think we're up to 160 or 170 of them so far, and there's no end in sight. Watch trueblue.com for details. That's TRUBLU. You can find me on Cameo should you desire. And always right here at Chris@predatorpodcast.com. I'll be watching and listening.